Washington just pulled off a move nobody saw coming, and if you live in America, this could affect your paycheck, your mail, your flights, and even your kids' school lunch. Right now, lawmakers are racing against a deadline that could shut down huge parts of the government again, and this time it's happening right before an election. If you think this doesn't affect you, stick around, because by the end of this video, you'll understand exactly how a fight in Congress turns into real chaos in your everyday life. Before we go further, if you care about staying updated on what's really happening in Washington, hit that like button and subscribe right now because we break down complicated politics into simple, no-nonsense explanations. And you don't want to miss what's coming next. So here's the situation. The government's fiscal year runs on a strict calendar, and every year Congress has to pass funding bills to keep federal agencies running. Sounds simple, right? Except this year has been anything but simple. In fact, this past year alone, parts of the federal government were left without proper funding for over 160 days. That's almost half the year. We saw the longest shutdown in American history, followed by another partial shutdown right after it. Government workers went without paychecks, federal offices slowed down, some services almost came to a complete stop. Now, just days ago, lawmakers in the House passed a temporary funding bill to avoid yet another shutdown, and they did it early, right before leaving for their August recess. Why the rush? Because the next real deadline hits on September 30th, and if Congress doesn't act by then, the government could shut down again, this time right in the middle of election season. Nobody in Washington wants that headline. This new bill would keep the current funding levels in place all the way through December 4th. Basically, it's a bridge, buying time so lawmakers don't have to rush a massive, complicated funding package before voters head to the polls. But here's the twist. Not everyone is happy about it. Some lawmakers are calling it a rushed, one-sided move, forced through just 2 days before recess, without real bipartisan negotiation. Others are defending it as the responsible choice, especially after watching the damage caused by back-to-back shutdowns earlier this year. And here's what makes this even more dramatic. The House is scheduled to be in session for less than 3 weeks before that September 30th deadline arrives. Between the August recess, Labor Day, and other holidays, lawmakers have very little time to actually get this done. That means the clock is ticking louder than ever, and the pressure inside Capitol Hill right now is intense. So what does this actually mean for you? If you or someone you know works for the federal government, this affects job security and paychecks. If you rely on programs like food assistance or veterans benefits, funding gaps can cause real delays. If you travel, shutdowns have caused slowdowns at airports before, with security lines stretching for hours. Even small business owners who depend on government contracts or approvals can feel the impact almost immediately. This isn't just political drama happening far away in Washington. This is the kind of thing that shows up in your daily life whether you're paying attention to politics or not. What makes this moment so tense is the history behind it. This same Congress has already dealt with 2 major shutdowns within 1 fiscal year. That has never really happened like this before. So now, every time a deadline approaches, there's this sense of, are we about to see this happen again? Lawmakers know the public is exhausted. Voters are frustrated. And with an election coming up, both parties know that whoever gets blamed for another shutdown could pay the price at the ballot box. That's exactly why this temporary funding bill is being called a strategic move. It's not a full solution, it's a pause button. It gives Congress breathing room to keep negotiating the full year's funding without the immediate threat of a shutdown hanging over their heads. But come December, this same fight is going to resurface, and depending on how talks go between now and then, we could be right back here watching another countdown to a possible shutdown. So here's the real question. Is this a smart move to keep the government stable through a tense election season? Or is it just delaying an inevitable clash that's bound to explode later? That's something even political analysts are divided on right now. If this video helped you understand what's actually happening in Washington, drop a comment below and let us know what you think is going to happen by December. Do you think Congress will finally get it together? Or are we heading towards shutdown number 3? And if you found this helpful, share it with someone who needs to understand what's really going on with these funding deadlines, because this story is far from over, and we'll be right here to break down whatever happens next.